Jumbo! Welcome to all of my beasts that like to feast. I am Herman the Great, and you are watching a vlog about places with food summed up with a Herm-azing review. I will be reviewing a restaurant that has food influenced by the second largest continent on the planet known as Africa. And with that said, be sure to subscribe, like, comment, and share at any point during this video, preferably at the end. But I am going to get started right now. Today, I will be reviewing a little hidden gem known as the Flavors of East Africa. At this particular restaurant, they specialize in East African cuisine, primarily inspired by the culture and people from the country of Kenya. I chose this place because it was suggested to me by my beautiful wife, who went previously with her cousin, and also because I have never had African food in all of my life. So I decided to take the wife and the kids back a week later. I didn't get to meet the owner at the time, but according to the restaurant listed above here, the Flavors of East Africa restaurant, while it's not in Africa, the owner named June is from Kenya, which is in Africa, and he is a great chef. The restaurant itself is only about 8 years old, and the chef has been participating in farmers markets for well over 20 years, specializing in East African cuisine. The Flavors of East Africa restaurant is located at the address of 2322 El Cajon Boulevard 92104, nestled between two other restaurants that, in my opinion, for this review, they don't really matter because they're not the East African restaurant. The curb appeal is not the greatest for the East Africa, but the plants around the outdoor tables, topped with the straw umbrellas, I imagine give it that resemblance to the African rainforest. And also they have a few pop-up flyers that remind me of the grand opening of a furniture store. In addition, of course, they have a tiny neon sign on top of their building with their name on it to help you confirm that you have found the right location. So upon our entry, we are greeted by a dedicated hostess and welcome into the restaurant, where you will notice distinct opaque yellow and orange walls topped by a dark red ceiling. The place was really nice in the sense of culture. It was decorated with several African-inspired art pieces such as paintings, masks, statues, and really nice tapestries. You don't see tapestries too much, but they had some really nice ones. The dining area itself had these big, tatty, brown wooden tables along with these big, raggedy dining chairs that were tan due to a lot of wear and tear. They really look like they were passed down from a restaurant way back in the 70s, and they just never reupholstered the furniture. But overall, the place feels homely. It's welcoming. It feels like grandma's house, especially if you're just going to have some lunch or you're just going for a general outing with friends and family and you want to try something different. This place is letting you come in and sit down and, do what you're supposed to do best when you go to a restaurant, and that's eat, feed the beast. So let me get started by telling you the food that we got. We started off with an appetizer called sambusa. Sorry, let me backtrack a little bit. All of the all of the menu is in Swahili, but it does give you descriptions of all of the food underneath the Swahili translation, okay? So let's get back to it. The food that we ordered, we started off with the appetizer called sambusas. Those are little triangle pastries filled with your choice of deliciousness: cream cheese, coconut with shrimp, spicy beef, chicken, spicy lentils, potatoes, or spinach. Typically, if you pay for these appetizers, they're gonna give you one of each on a plate, so you could try them all. They're basically like little mini hot pockets, or in the Latino culture, it would basically be called an empanada. But it was delicious. They were flaky, they were crispy on the outside, but the inside was just so savory and tasty and meaty. Or if you got the ones that weren't meat, it was just savory and warm and just it was very hearty. It was good. Our main course that we ordered was African sweet jerk chicken, and that, my friend, is where the magic happens. It was basically a charred grilled piece of chicken that was just cooked to perfection, and only the edges had little charred pieces, which gave it a little bit of a crisp. It was seasoned with African spices and glazed with a secret African jerk sauce you'll never taste anywhere else but at the Flavors of East Africa. The sweet and spicy just made you feel like smacking your mother for disrespecting your taste buds while you were in adolescence for 18 years. But nevertheless, the highly flavored chicken was delicious, and it was served on top of kachumbari, which is basically like pico de gallo, or if you don't know what that is, it's basically just onions, tomatoes, and cilantro. Um, on top of that, they also served it with the side of wali, which is basically some yellow rice mixed with vegetables and some African spices. Me personally, for the rice, I wasn't too impressed. I felt like it was just a tad bit dry. Like, it was edible, it was good, it had some good flavors, but I just felt like it was just either too dry or just a little bit too rough compared to the rice that I'm used to. Because hey, I live in the South Bay. I'm used to Spanish rice that is pretty much soft or moist. Or hey, we even got our Pacific Islander and Asian friends that also have some really delicious rice as well. So I'm just spoiled with different types of rice, and I have come to accustom that hey, I like the rice that I like because of where I'm from. However, they also did pair it with a wonderful passion fruit juice to wash it all down, and that got rid of any of the dryness from the rice. And also, it just tasted so good drinking right after eating the sweet spicy chicken, which actually really does have a nice little kick to it. It was real spicy and delicious. So again, the food is amazing, and I take it this is probably why on Yelp they get 4 and 5 stars constantly. People say, wow, the food is amazing. Oh my gosh, the staff is so kind. They were even listing, their Yelp reviews on their catering service saying, hey, they're professional, they come out and they make a great amount of food. And to me, hey, that's where it's at. That's what it's all about, treating the customers and making the customers feel like, hey, you know what? We might not have the nicest ambiance, but our food is going to rock your world, basically. And let's continue. The staff at the time of our visit was limited. It was just a lady who was pulling basically double duty as a hostess and a waitress while parenting her 5-year-old, and the other staff member was just the chef who was cooking all of our food. Luckily for them, we were the only ones in the restaurant. So to us, it felt like home. It felt like we were just getting served by the eldest aunt at the family get together during the reunion. It felt so much like home, as a matter of fact, that my 5-year-old was comfortable enough to ask to go play with her 5-year-old, and they just sat down at a separate table coloring, and my youngest daughter fell asleep. So those two were comfortable. Me and my wife actually had the opportunity to have a nice little intimate date within the realms of our children, and we didn't have to worry. And you know what? The hostess made sure that our kids were good, gave them some extra beverages, and, gave us some water. And, we got a chance to just talk, even though our food was gone. And the host wasn't running around like a mad woman who just needed to serve everybody. It was just a good time to go. We actually went on a Sunday afternoon after church, so I'm guessing that's just their slow time. But judging by their demeanor and how they treated us, I would definitely say they probably would welcome anybody to dine in their house. I believe the Flavors of East Africa impressively utilized rhetoric upon arrival throughout their restaurant to make people feel as if they were in an authentic African restaurant, and also welcomed by the hearts of their employees. They are really warm and inviting and want you to try their food. And so much so, they actually even offer a buffet. We didn't get a chance to go to the buffet, but they have certain times of the day where they have buffets 7 days of the week, and you could try all of their food, and it's buffet style. So that gives you an opportunity to try something at a low cost. Hey, it's so cheap. If you could afford to go to BJ's or Denny's, you should just go to the Flavors of Africa and get something different and something that's going to be really tasty. Also, by showing considerations for people with different diets, including vegan or carnivorous options, it makes more and more people feel welcome. Like, hey, they got options for vegans. They got options for people who just are on a pescatarian diet. They got options for people that just eat a regular diet. And that makes everybody feel together. You know, they could go eat and enjoy each other's company without judging what they're eating or what they're eating. And, you know, it just makes for a really nice vibe. So I would say ultimately this place is somewhere that you're going to go and have a good time. I'm going to just say, let's keep on moving forward. And remember, my name is Herman the Great. Thanks for tuning in to this Herm-azing review. And remember, like, comment, share, and subscribe, especially because you won't want to miss my next review where I will be doing more than ordinary. It will be sweet. It will be tasty. It will be extraordinary at the one and only Extraordinary Desserts. Okay, over and out. Feed the beast.